Hello and good morning, everyone. My name is Dimitri and I'm part of the customer support team here at Xara Cloud in Berlin, Germany. I'm joined today with my colleague, Xara Sutter, product manager. Before we actually run into anything, I'd just like to ask for a raise of hands just to confirm that there is life on the other side, and then we'll go straight into it. Perfect. I can see some responses to that already. Great. Thank you so much. So today's session, we're going to be looking at team assets and how you can leverage this feature to, well, in your business. And I guess, first of all, we need to ask ourselves, what are team assets? Team assets in Xara Cloud is basically a facility for you to bring your digital assets together, your logos, your images, and various other components that you regularly use in your documents, bringing them together for consistent usage, consistent branded usage as well. That's very important. And basically giving control to the curators to manage this, and also giving, making it easy for your document creators to save time. And before I hand over to Aaron, I'd just like to point out that in this Zoom session, we will have a section at the end of the webinar to cover questions, but do feel free to ask any of those throughout the session using that Q&A area. When we're also talking about team assets, I guess we also want to know what are the benefits for us. So as already mentioned, we've got our centralization of all of the assets, meaning there's one place for you to get all of these logos and images from one place. Control to your design department, brand and consistency, but also clarity for the entire team, so that you don't have team members using out-of-date content that has been stored on their computer for years, or you've just gone through a rebrand and you want to be sure that all of your colleagues are using that new branded content. This is the way to do it. So you're going to be building a valuable inventory of digital assets for your entire business to use. And of course, that saves a lot of time when you're creating documents. So on that point, I think we can actually go straight into it, and I'll hand over to Aaron to have a look at how this can be achieved.
Hey, yeah, thank you, Dimitri. Could you maybe allow me to share my camera? I think something went wrong. I can't.
Oh yeah, sure.
Do that. So I think that everybody has also got a face in front.
Yeah. Let me have a look at that.
All right. Nope.
There we are.
Okay, wonderful. So I guess now everybody can see me. Thank you, and sorry for the little technical difficulty here. My name is Aaron Sutter, as Dimitri mentioned, and I'm product manager at Xara. And I would like to show you our latest release feature, the update to our team assets feature. Dimitri already went into some of the details, so I would simply go into how to actually set up your team assets for your members, explain to you what the differences are between the individual sections that we have, how they can be used by your members, and also show you from a member's perspective what are best practices in the end. Before I go into it, I would like to briefly show you, I think most of you have experience with Xara Cloud, but for those of you who don't, this area here, which you can see on my screen, is the editor. So this is where you edit your documents, where you can also customize your assets, where you can set up your brand, where you're working on any kind of document that you're creating with Xara Cloud. So let's briefly explain you the interface here. So let's start from the top left. So here you see this little house. So this is actually getting you back to documents. So this sends you into your home section, which we call the file picker. File picker, because in the file picker you can open templates if you want to start fresh with a new document, or you can open existing files, or even import one of the various file formats that we allow and support on Xara Cloud, such as PDF and PowerPoint, Word, etc. Next to it, you have a file menu, which most of you know from any other application. There's nothing special. So here you can download. I think that's what it's mainly used for, downloading and saving documents. Next to this here, we have a feature, it's called Resize. So Resize is what many users use it for is social media. So for example, you created a post for Facebook, but then you want to resize the document to fit to your Instagram and to have it perfectly scaled and visible for your users on Instagram. Here in the center, we have our status bar. So if nothing is selected, this will show you the name of the document here on top, just a random number in my case, and below the document format. So here, this is a print US letter, 8.5 by 11 inches. Depending on what you select on the document, this is context sensitive, and this will show you what you have selected. So for example, here you have a text cursor in a text frame, right? Or here we have a text frame selected. So this sometimes helps if you have a group with multiple objects that are grouped together. In case you get lost what you have selected, always a good indicator is to look at the top. And next thing that is really important are here your settings. You have your profile settings, your team settings. If you're an admin of your team, you can manage it, change your sign-in details, and also link to our help section. And here, lastly, I think the share button. Sharing is for all types of collaboration. So if you want to collaborate with someone on the same document, as you can see here, I have Dimitri. I share edited the document, so he can collaborate in lifetime with me. So that's here indicating that someone else is in my document. And besides, you can also export it, download it, and share it to web, so you can get a share link, which is a read-only version of the document. Okay, I think that's that. Then here on the right-hand side, we have here in this case, because nothing is selected, we have document properties. And again, similar to what I explained to you on top, we have this changing depending on what you have selected. So in this case, we have text selected, so it gives you all the advanced text controls. As you can see on top here of my selection, we have a context menu, a quick access to select everything that you need at your fingertips. So the most frequently used items, and everything more detail is here on the right-hand side. So far to this menu, and on the left-hand side, this is our add panel, as we call it. So this is everything that you can add to your document. So for example, what is very important depending on your document type is add pages. Simply click on add pages and you can see the individual pages that belong to that template, and you can add them one by one. Below we have different categories. Let's briefly browse through it. So tables is a category, and we have diagrams. Here we have subcategories even. So we have charts, so a large variety of charts. We have business graphics, which are pretty helpful, especially if you're creating presentations, maps, and also charts by Vislo, one of our integrations. We'll not go into too much detail, just a brief introduction on how to navigate here. If you go into business graphics, you can go dig deeper, go one level down, and drill down, scroll down. They're all scrollable, and you can simply drag and drop these items onto your document. Then besides, we have a stock photo integration. Here you can get royalty-free photos powered by Pixabay. You simply can type something to search it, and it reveals whatever you have searched for. So for example, let's just give an example. Say we search for car, it gives you lots of examples with a car. So now this brings me to the team assets. Finally, here in the team assets section, we have I have already set up the section. I uploaded some of the images and some components, and here we have the logo section, which is empty. As you can see, we have 3 sections here that are pre-configured by Xara, and one is for logos, the other one for images, and the other one for components. So I think logos and images are quite self-explanatory. Components, I will go into more detail what the difference is between those. But let's start with how to upload something to the logo section. So if you are an admin, you have the possibility to add and remove items from the team assets. So if I click on plus here, this allows me to upload something to the team assets section, and you can choose between your computer, a URL, or cloud storage. So if you have a cloud storage connected, you can add an individual image from your cloud storage or just upload it from your computer. So in our case, I'm going to show you how to do that from the computer. So here, this opens your file explorer. And here you can see this is my logo folder where I have saved all our company logos. So here you can decide to select one file or many files. And let's just upload two of them for now, two different versions of it. So now I selected 4 files. I click on open, and what it does, you can see it's loading here. So it's uploading. Depending on your internet connection, mine is not that good today for some reason. It takes some time. And yeah.
So Aaron, when we are adding assets to the team assets folders, I know that a lot of our customers often have folders that, you know, have many files in there. Is it straightforward to get that whole folder uploaded?
Yeah. So what you do, similar to how I showed you, you would have to add. You can select many or one only. If you select many, you can select up to 50 files at once.
Okay.
And yeah, that should be good enough. So if you need, I think 50 is the maximum, and that's that. So let's see what's going on here. Why having some difficulty? Sorry, my internet connection is not ideal here. Okay.
And while we're getting that working as well, we had a question from Margaret asking us to demonstrate how to map team assets. How to map team assets to a folder.
Yes, so here in this case, so mapping them to a folder. So what we have with our latest update here is that you simply upload them to Xara Cloud and you save them here. So mapping it to a folder would be, you have to upload them individually. So for example, as I showed, select multiple, click on open, and they will be uploaded. If you want to add more from a different folder, you would have to navigate to a different folder and select them again. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Then we have the next section would be images. So let's maybe go to images unless there are any questions. So I've prepared something here. So another way to add something to the add panels, to the team asset panels, is that you can select something on your current page and save it to your assets. Mm-hmm. So here in this case, we have this image. What I did, I manipulated it a little bit because I want my users to use it with this exact same filter and the rounding. So as you can see, the original image is this one. And then here I manipulated with a special filter on top and rounded the corners because that's how I want this image to be used as a designer. So that's sort of the guideline from the design department, we could say. So what you do then here, you select the image. Here in the more section, you can select add to assets. Click on add to assets, and then you get this screen here where we ask you where do you want to save it, because obviously we don't know where you necessarily want to save it. You have 3 options. So you can put it into the logos, images, or into the components. Here, since this is an image, makes most sense to save it into the images section. Let's select image. And then we ask you, do you want to save the modified version or the original? So what's the difference? If I add the modified version, this means this effect is already burned into the image and you have the rounded corners here on the side. So you cannot manipulate it. So all your members, they have to live with this effect as it is here. They cannot apply another one.
In other words, they can't break our brand.
They can't break the brand, you can say, yeah. So let's maybe briefly demonstrate what that would look like. So let's add the modified one here. And as you can see, I've already added the other one beforehand, the original. So let's add the modified version of that image. And here you can see this doesn't have any effect. So if I put a photo effect on top, I can do that, but it already has everything burned in, right? So it's always, the foundation is always the green one, and I cannot remove the rotation, nor can I take out the selection, right? So difference between the original here, I think it's quite clear. Here I can have this. If I see here the filters, I can apply all those filters to it. Yeah.
We've also got another question that's related to what we're looking at now. So
yeah.
observant participant has noted the storage limit at the top left of Team Assets.
Yeah.
Could you talk a little bit more about that limit? Is that 50 megabytes a hard limit?
Yes, so this is, we have 50 megabytes. So this is here the account that I'm demoing with. This is a free account. Here we have 50 megabytes for the team. Depending on your plan, this is being increased. I think we have 5 gigabytes for a team plan. And additionally, we give you 1 gigabyte per user. And however, if you run out of storage or come close to storage, storage can be purchased additionally. So how is the storage composed here? So this means everything that is uploaded to the team asset section will count into that storage. Does that answer the question, or is there?
Yeah, I think it does. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah, so where are we? Okay, so I think then that's with images. Are there any questions to images here? No.
No.
Okay. Then let's come here. I prepared something for components, and I think that's yeah, a very good example, because components are typically used for graphics and illustrations, but also for combinations or groups of different objects. So what are groups of different objects? This means, for example, something like this, right? Here we have a text panel, which is grouped with an arrow, a symbol, and some graphic all together. This is a group of individual objects. And here, what I would want my users to do, why would I save it to components? Because I want them to edit the text. I want them to use this graphic the way it is laid out here, but I allow them to change the text or maybe even the color. Yeah. Then what I would do, I would simply click here again, go to the Add to Assets, and then add it to the component section. And here I already did that, so I don't need to upload it again. Then you can see here I have individual components. Same thing you could do also for charts. You can use any of our assets. So that's what I did here, the out-of-the-box assets, but then I customized them in a way that it looks exactly how I would want my brand to look. And that our users have a quick start into using the components and don't need to, for example, worry about the distance between the individual bars in the chart or the rounding of them or even the coloring.
It's all been designed. So you've shown us how to add these components to our pages. We've also had another question which is related, and that is, how can I add pages to a presentation or a document?
Right. Okay, so if you want to add pages, so this is here in the Add Page segment on top here. This is automatically by default, it will retrieve whatever is part of the template. So here we have selected this newsletter, and this newsletter has 3 pages which can be added. And so you can simply click on, let's maybe demonstrate it here. So I click on that one page and here it's being added, right? Another way is, so here we have the page panel. So our page preview here, that where you can, if you click and hold for a second, you can rearrange and reorder the pages. If you click once, you can see this here, add empty page. So this would just add an empty page with nothing on top. Right?
It always adds the page
below
that's currently selected.
Yeah, so that's important to know. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, okay.
And then here, obviously, also you can delete it. Or in the case of a duplication, if I want to duplicate the same page because I have created some layout that I would like to reuse, which is particularly useful also on presentations, you simply duplicate it, right?
Mm-hmm. Cool. And while we're on this page, Aaron, you've shown us inserting different types of components, like the logos and images and these complex components. One other question that we have here from the group is it possible to ungroup one of these out-of-the-box components and change one of the graphics or one of the objects that's part of the script?
Exactly. Yeah, that's a good question. So that's actually what I did here. That's what I did here. So let's maybe compare with what I mean, minimal adjustment, but still an adjustment that I thought I would prefer this component to not be round. So not be round, but to have the arrows going inside. So here you can manipulate that however you want. It's even though it's a group, you can select inside. So let's maybe get it a bit clearer. Let's get this out of the way. Let's work on that one. So here the first click is always, so this is a group. So here we see group selected. Then in the context menu, if you can ungroup something, you see ungroup. You don't necessarily have to ungroup it in order to work with it. So the first click will always select the group, but if you click a second time on a different object, it will select inside the group. So selecting inside the group means I could even drag this arrow out. And what it does, it's still in the group. So this means the arrow, if I move the group, it will still be positioned together. Yeah. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, it does. Great.
Okay.
I know we said that we were going to leave questions and answers to right at the end, but a lot of these seem really relevant with what we're talking about right now. We've got another one as well, Aaron. So near the beginning of your talk, you know, we looked at the different types of components. We looked at logos, images, and what we call components. When somebody's adding their own assets to the folders, what formats can be imported? We've got a particular request for support for SVG. Is that possible?
Yes. So SVG files can be added for logos. So let's maybe go through the individual categories that we have, right? So let's start with logos. So for logos, we allow JPEG, PNGs, SVGs, bitmaps, GIFs, TIFFs. So what's the difference? So many users might not know that. I think that's very specific and quite advanced. So a JPEG is usually the normal standard image format nowadays. Additionally, PNG is something that we saw here with the, with the cutout, right? So everything that has, because here normally the image would be the entire part of the frame that we see here. But here there's a cutout transparent part of the image. So all images that have some transparency below it, these are usually PNG files. And SVGs, yet another format. So these are not really image files, these are vector files. And the benefit of those files is that you can save them very small here, but if you increase them in size, they will just scale without losing any resolution. Okay, this one, yeah, without losing the resolution, right? So usually if you have an image and you increase it, it gets pixelated. Here in this case, this is non-pixelated. And the other benefit is that you can change the colors on it fully. Yeah.
And follow-on question from that regarding formats, that is for EPS, which I think is a Adobe format, no?
Yeah. Yes, this depends a bit, but usually we support uploading EPS, but you cannot directly save it to the asset. So that's something we're working on. You can upload them here through the upload file, and then the file will be imported into Xara, will convert it, and then you can add it to assets. That's a minor limitation we have at the moment.
But what is possible, what I've seen plenty of other customers do is, you know, any software that can produce an EPS can definitely produce a format that is compatible with other components and other categories here.
Yeah, so ideally you get the SVG version or just a PNG version. Usually the PNG is fine. As you can see here, what our designers do, let's go back to our logo folder. They always give us an S, M, and L version of it. So this means L, they just export it in a larger dimension. So this means that it's not being pixelated. So you can scale it to a full page size without any issues.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, so other than that, I would still like to show you what this interface looks like for a member. So on Xara Cloud, we have different user types. So we have admins and members and guests. So admins, obviously, they have, as the name implies, they administer the account. So they usually invite others. They they invite others. They set up the system. What they do is set up the brands here that others can use it and have more functionality and just the full control over it. Members, they have full functionality, but not the control. Guests, they have limited functionality and zero control. So I think this is basically the differentiation. So let's take a look at a members account. Let's go here. So this is now the same team. So this is also our company, our example company, but the user here is not an admin. The user is a member, which you can see always here. If you're unclear, you can click on your settings, and then here you see the team and your role in that team. Yes, so you can see directly, you cannot add anything to the document. If I go inside here, this looks also different a little bit because you can't do anything, you can't add anything, and you cannot delete anything. An admin can hover over these and just delete them. Another pro tip, which I forgot to mention, is if you upload images or any other assets here, it makes sense to actually name them. Here you see often images, they just have some random value as a file name. So that's not particularly helpful. But here, for example, for our teammates, I have added a name. So this is, for example, our developer. This is our product manager. And so your team can actually better identify for what you can use the images. Another example would be you could do it for individual product lines, different campaigns, depending on how you organize or want to organize your content. So let's come back to the admin, to the member. So here a member can, on the images, for example, add something here to the document, and then once something is added to the document, the user can, depending what the user wants to do, manipulate it or replace it. You can replace, that's something I forgot to mention, I guess. Logos and images, they are replaceable, and components are not replaceable content. So what does that mean? Let's go here. So let's say I have this image here, and now I want to replace it. Let's maybe get a better example here. Let's put some little adjustment to it. Click replace. You can, whenever you see these two arrows, you can replace this object, and you can select where you want to replace it from. Now if I click to Team Assets, I can replace it with something else. So let's say I would like to replace it with, let's just select this one, and you can see it's being positioned exactly in that position here. Same thing for logos. Logos can also be replaced. And then if you click on replace, you click on Team Assets, it's automatically referring you to the logo section of your Team Assets. Yeah, I think, that's that to, Team Assets from my side. Are there any questions?
Yeah, cool. So now's your chance to ask questions. Use the Q&A, use the chat, whatever you like. Ask a quick question then. You've got a few minutes of our time to go through that. While we wait for anyone to post any questions, I'm going to use the time to remind you about our support options. At the bottom right corner of the screen that you can see, there's a chat icon. If you click on this, you can connect directly to us. You click send us a message, and you'll be connected to one of the support team members. That's usually me or one of the other two guys that's often on the support channel. You can say hello there. There's also access to the knowledge base. Hey, Aaron, don't do that. It's going to make more work for me. Joking. So there's also the knowledge base, right? So you can post a question here, or just use keywords about the feature that you want to learn more about, and the knowledge base will refer you to several articles that you can use to sort of learn more about how to use the tool.
Yeah, and that's, maybe let's click on it and let's see. how that works. So then you get a little article. You have the article, what are team assets? It even refers you to further articles if you need more details on that. And yeah, I think quite self-explanatory actually.
We've had another observant question regarding our integration options for advanced charting. Can you tell us more about what Vislo is and how people could use this to enhance their...
Right. So here, if you click on Vislo, we have a... Yeah, so the integration basically is for more advanced charts. As you can see here, our charts, they're more a bit basic here. They are very advanced and they can be connected to data. So you can have a spreadsheet as the basis and simply connect the spreadsheet and create a chart out of that. And what you can do here is you can connect Vislo. Then we will connect to Vislo. We'll create an account for you. And then you can go into Vislo, select from a variety of different charts and create them. Once you've created them, you can simply click on export and share, and we will refer you back and insert that chart for you. So as an example, we have some here, down here, we have a few example charts from Vislo so that you have a better idea what they offer. So as you can see here, these are some stacked bar charts, for example, or yeah, this radial bar chart I think is a very cool one, and many others. So these are the ones that are very popular, or word clouds also. It's very popular, and these you can simply add here to your document then. And if you want to edit it, obviously I didn't connect my Vislo account here because I'm running a test account. But then you simply click on edit and you can customize this chart. And once it's customized, it will automatically update then after.
So that means I can also create branded charts and infographics in my Xara documents.
Yes. So there's the branding option also in Vislo.
Yes. We've also got another question. I think it's more related to the sort of templates that we have.
Yeah.
Recommendations in how to use Xara for the design and implementation of a document like an invoice form.
Sorry, I didn't get the question.
How to use Xara to design and implement a document that's like an invoice.
An invoice, yeah. Yes. So, yes, I would need a bit more specific. So what do you think of an invoice? More a document that is creating automatically pages, page by page, or so let's maybe try that. Let's go here. Let's maybe talk about the templates in general, first of all. So here you can see these are our templates on the left-hand side. If you scroll down, so this is scrollable. So these are all the different template categories that we have. So sometimes you don't find what you're looking for, right? So in this case, invoice is something we don't have here as a pre-configured template. So what you can do then is you select the category that is currently selected, blank documents, right? And in the blank documents, I would simply open a file that is, US letter, I guess would make sense for this. And then open that. And as you can see here, we have the auto branding. That's another feature. I think we're going to have a separate webinar on branding. That's going to be coming soon. So something to watch out for. That's really cool, that feature. And so here, so I guess, I'm not sure if this is the best table for that. Let's maybe take a look. Do we have a table for the invoice? Yeah, so let's maybe take that one. And that's easier to format. And here I would probably then take, the individual item number 001. And then we would have, I don't know, the amount and price. I don't know how you set up your invoice. So that would probably be item number 1 would be
quantity, value, total.
Yeah, exactly. So then
I think this is a good example, the fact that you can insert a table and customize the table, insert whatever columns you need, add more rows, change each of these as well.
Dollars. Yeah, customize it, or even add another column or row. Right, and then you can customize it however you need it to be.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
And look, if you want to try that again, just to the person who asked that question, and you're still trying to figure out, feel free to get in touch with us through the support chat feature, and we'll be able to give you a little more detailed guidance on that as well.
Okay. Then other questions?
Those are the questions for now.
Yeah.
So speak now, forever hold your peace.
Yeah, for sure. What I would recommend is try the feature. Give us your feedback. Tell us where or if you have any problems. Go through the chat here. We're always welcome to answer you as soon as possible. Usually we get back really fast, so I think that shouldn't be an issue. And yeah, just stay in touch.
Cool. Thanks for showing us all of that, Aaron. I think we'll wrap things up now. Thanks for everyone for attending, and happy creating.
Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.